Out of the gate this morning, big shout out to State Farm Insurance. As you know, it is a lot of hard work continuing to strive to be the best. No mediocrity allowed over at State Farm Insurance, 92 South Main Street in Barrie, where Bobby Bartlett is putting his money where his mouth is. If you call 479-3353, just like it did on the air the other day, you're going to get a free quote. And, well, what can I say? Bob's going to send you $20 if you mention Aired Out. Yeah, no strings attached. National Battery Day today. When's the last time you checked yours? You got the Aired Out podcast from Fly on the Wall Productions, live on Facebook and YouTube, streamed everywhere. You get your podcasts in on the web at airedoutvt.com. So we got town meeting day fast approaching, and as I posted up this morning, the FBQ of the day, what issue in your town would you most like to see addressed? And already lots of comments coming in, most of them infrastructure related, but we want to hear from you. Drop a comment at some point today. Happy birthday to Cliff Fleury, to Cara Mayo, Martin Boudin, Michael Morris, and Greg Hooker. Radio legend right there. Greg, happy birthday. The roads this morning, and I'm pretty sure that this has been cleared up, but there was a tire in the road on 89 northbound near exit 9, near the left-hand lane there, near the passing lane. So I believe that's been cleared up, but if it hasn't, just exercise some caution in that area if you can. Weather today, going to be cold and, well, maybe teens, maybe 15 if we're lucky. Tonight, -2. Yes, there was a sigh there. -2, yes, some clearing late. Wednesday looks like 18 with some sun and clouds. Thursday, cloudy and 21. Just a slight, dare I say, warming trend. 22 on Friday, partly sunny skies. In the weekend at this point, a mix of sun and clouds and either side of 30. Doesn't that sound nice? It is almost Wednesday. Tomorrow, Washington County Mental Health is hosting Wellness Wednesday again. Everyone is talking about this. It is so popular. Don't miss the next one tomorrow. Come out, relax, treat yourself to maybe a table massage, chair massage, some Reiki, some meditation, acupuncture. Everything is free, and it's tomorrow. Just call Robin over there if you would like a table massage, some Reiki, myofascial body release. They're doing all of that. Just put your time down on the calendar, 479-4055 to reserve your time. Again, 479-4055. Washington County Mental Health, presenting sponsor of the Aired Out podcast. Deb Phillips from The World is actually not going to be able to join us on the air this morning. Why, you ask? Well, she's got some issues trying to get out of the driveway. And that's the case for a lot of people. But those snow drifts were huge. And if you had a clear driveway yesterday and it looked good, you might be waking up this morning to see, a 3-foot snowbank in your driveway. So, keep that in mind. A lot of people without power from those winds last night here in Vermont. Utilities are busy working on it. Vermont News, Montpelier City Manager Bill Frazier's departure could cost the city upwards of $250,000. You can read the full story. Dave Delcor wrote it up. It's in the Times-Argus this morning. Also, the two of the biggest stories in Vermont, 2 people found dead in a car along Route 14 Friday night around 9:30, a 63-year-old male and a 59-year-old female. An investigation is underway, but it is being ruled non-suspicious. Meanwhile, Vermont State Police investigating after a body was found in a flaming car in Warren yesterday morning. A car that was on fire. Police say the fire was first reported by a passerby around 11:30 in the morning at a parking lot on Route 100. Vermont State Police say this is also under investigation and is being ruled non-suspicious. National headlines. 18 people injured after that Delta Airlines flight crashed on the runway at Toronto's Pearson International Airport while attempting to land yesterday afternoon. 80 people on board from Minneapolis, making that hard landing in snowy conditions and ended up upside down. One of the wings was just shorn right off as the aircraft tumbled, spitting out a huge fireball and leaving passengers hanging upside down in their seats. Everybody on board evacuated safely. None of the injuries appear to be life-threatening. I know there was a child and at least 2 adults late yesterday and early evening who were in critical condition. But from what I understand, nothing is life-threatening. How many times is there a plane crash where there aren't fatalities? I mean, what a miracle. What a story. My guests this morning, I am so excited to welcome Marc and Angie Duncan of the Freezing Fund for Families annual winter softball tournament with its 25th year coming up in a short time, the final weekend of this month. And welcome, both of you, from Concord, New Hampshire.
Thank you, JD.
What
happy
a pleasure
to be here.
Yeah, what a pleasure to have you here. You guys, we have so much to talk about. But first off, before we even get going, let's give a shout out to Wendell and Corey, 2 of the drivers of this amazing event. These are great guys.
Yeah, so actually we came up last night and Corey put us up in his house, and we had a chance to catch up and go to dinner and
Nice.
spend some time with his family.
Yeah.
And just even happened to run into the Pecor family from the quarry as well. So, great start to our visit this time back to Barrie.
Yeah.
So developed, first just knowing Corey from coming to the tournament and, growing to become friends with him inside and outside of the tournament. So as you know, JD, he's done so much for the tournament over the years. Now is changing his role a bit and allowing some others, including Wendell Morse and other great volunteers, to step up and help take the reins.
This thing has turned into a monster over the last 25 years, and I am so not surprised that Corey has rallied others to really assist in driving this thing. I mean, it's massive, it's huge, and thank God for Wendell. Yeah.
Yeah. So along with Wendell, a number of longtime volunteers. You've got Sarah Touchette, you've got Meg, you've got Judy. Who am I missing?
Oh, goodness. I'm on the spot now.
You are. But since we've been coming, we see the same faces year in and year out. And we look forward to seeing them. And our participation in the tournament and support for the tournament, started with playing, but evolved into trying to support it in further ways, just doing things from the start, like staying after the tournament, picking up a few picnic tables to help out.
Wow. For those of you that are just joining us, Marc and Angie Duncan.
Just one small correction. She's Angie Carey.
Oh, okay.
Practically married, but not quite.
Yes, understand. You guys have been Team Concord Orthopedics.
Yeah, for about the past 5 years or so. So we've had a few sponsors over the years, but very pleased to have the support of Concord Orthopedics over this past run of the team.
So for folks that are just joining us who are saying, what the heck are we talking about here? Freezing fun for families. This is a winter softball tournament in its 25th year now. And the mission of this tournament has always been to support local families here in the North Country who are fighting a great fight against pediatric cancer. And it's not just the child, but it's their immediate family and surrounding family. And it goes one step beyond that, which is you guys and all of the players, supporters, spectators, volunteers that make up Freezing Fun for Families as the big umbrella. That's the big family.
It really is a big family. We Are Family has been the hashtag over the years that we love and love to use in some of our communications when we are doing things to support the cause, like football squares and other aspects. But it really has a community feel about the tournament.
From Concord, New Hampshire, both of you, Angie, tell me about your story. How did you guys find out about this? How did you get involved on that first year, and when was that?
So back in 2013, friends of ours that had a team called us and said, hey, we're short a couple girls and guys. Can you come up and play and fill in for us? So we came up that first year, and we got to know, we stayed afterwards, helped pick up picnic tables and stuff, got to know all the volunteers, met Corey, and after that we decided, you know what, we're going to put our own team in, have an extra team coming up, more funds coming in. So since then we've been putting our own team in.
So you go back home, and you're telling your friends, your family, your coworkers, hey, we're going to Vermont to play softball in the dead of winter. And some of your friends I'm sure were like, oh, hell no.
Well, a lot of them think that we're playing inside, and then we're like, no, we're playing out in the snow.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that first year
That's
was
amazing.
I think probably the most snow that we ever saw at the tournament.
Really?
So it's
more than what we have now?
I think, yeah, and especially on the Little League field closest to the woods, where the snow tends to hang out and not get drifted away. So that first year we came because we loved softball that first year. It for us at that point, it wasn't about, we heard it was a huge tournament, snow softball tournament. So it wasn't until we got here that we started to understand and appreciate what we were here for. And that has only grown over the years.
Wait till you hear the answer to this next question, ladies and gentlemen, of how much money this one team has raised since, what was that first year for you, 2013?
2013. So we haven't tracked all the way back to when we first started, but the last 5 or 7 years we have moved more into fundraising mode, looking at teams in the past like We Freeze Ours. So I remember looking at the registrations and seeing them as the number one top fundraising team and wanting to do what we can and do more to support the cause. So over the past 4 years, we have raised as a team, with the support of many, many people, over $43,000. So something we're really proud of, to be able to support the cause in that
In the
way.
last how many years?
4 years.
That's unbelievable. I thought that was since 2013.
No, that's just in the past 4 years. So we've had a number of different fundraisers that we've had to help get us
back at home.
Yeah, a lot of the people who are supporting the cause are from New Hampshire, but all friends that we have from the region, we encourage to do little small parts to help out.
We are approaching the $1 million mark.
Yeah,
in 25 years.
Amazing, isn't it? So something that we're very proud of. Another important milestone that Freezing Fund for Families is working towards is towards sustainability of the program. So, the three main programs that the organization is working to sustain are the Board of Directors Award, the Connor Drury Award, and the Snow Softball Award and Tournament. So there was a time where we would have to get to the end of the tournament, tally everything up, figure out what was raised, and then be able to present the checks to the families. But we're really happy to be at a place where now we're able to provide those checks to the families before Christmas.
Yes.
So not just before the tournament.
Yes.
Before Christmas too. So that is really great to be able to do. And so what we're working on is trying to be able to be, again, sustainable, so that if we don't raise another dime, we can still fund the programs that we have right now.
Yes.
So right now we're at about $207,000 out of that goal. 2007 out of
275.
275. Yes, thank you.
That is so remarkable. And, Wendell and Corey are always pushing the message of how these families with these kids who are fighting cancer, how these families can use that money. They can do anything with that money that brings them joy, alleviate stress, either logistical stuff or just, frankly, a vacation somewhere warm to live life and be happy.
Yeah, no strings attached with the money.
I love that.
So the families have an opportunity to choose what what they would like to do, whether it's a trip to Disney,
or Europe or anywhere.
And we've talked to at least one family, and it a lot of times unfortunately, to help care for the child, one family member has to, stop working.
Sure.
And then, so help puts more of a financial burden on the family. So, there's been families in the past where getting a better, more reliable vehicle, has been something that was important for them.
Right.
Getting them back and forth to treatments.
Exactly.
Right?
So the Connor Drury Award, can either one of you tell me a little bit about that? That's kind of geared towards new diagnosis.
Exactly.
And Corey was just telling us that they actually just awarded some money out of that yesterday. So that's kind of a program that helps all year rather than just at the time of the softball tournament.
Yep. Yeah. And especially during that early diagnosis, to be able to give them some quick and immediate support.
And the Board of Directors Award?
Yep. And so
that's pretty new. That's a pretty new award that's given out.
And so that's a $2,500 award for each year.
Just quick, right there, bang.
You got it.
Wow.
And so for one of the great things too that we've been able to do is, me and Angie have never experienced this part personally, but in past years, there's a number of different nominees, but there hasn't always been an opportunity to award each family, each nominee.
Sure.
But in these past couple of years, we have been able to support each family that has been nominated. So that's a great thing, and we actually had an opportunity to make one of those calls this year.
Isn't that something? Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah. So we got to talk to the mom of Levi, and they were just very, very grateful and very humbled by being chosen. So it was good to be on that end of it and be able to talk to them, and just it makes the impact of this tournament even more.
Right.
I mean, and it's something that's been close to us for 13 years.
Yeah.
So
Levi is this little 7-year-old from Colchester, and his mom, an amazing lady.
Yeah, it's kind of breaks my heart to think about what these great people go through. Yeah. And as Angie said, we're just really, really thankful to have this award, have this benefit to their family, and help alleviate some stress.
Levi is and we've got this story of Levi is posted up on the Freezing Fund for Families page, but Levi is a 7-year-old stroke survivor who is fighting a brain tumor and is about 2 years past diagnosis and is trying to build up some skills and some stamina. And I can't imagine 2 years old. And what spirit in this kid? What spirit?
It really seems to be a common theme when we hear the stories about these families and these children. Just very, very brave. Getting great support from their families and their siblings.
Yeah. Oftentimes, it seems these kids are so much stronger than us adults, and their attitudes.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
They teach us as adults how to be strong and stay tough. I mean, it's really remarkable. It really is. Why do you guys? So 2013 was your first year doing this. Here we are, 2025, and you guys are still in the game. Have you missed a year?
We have not. We have not missed a year at all. No, we've been here every year since then.
Any family roots or ties to Vermont that are,
None, actually, I think for either of us. But it's next door neighbors, right? Or from New Hampshire. So for us, that's not. It doesn't matter. It's about the cause and about what these families are going through.
What made you? What made you? How did you discover it in that first year again in 2013?
Yeah, we ended up being invited by some friends of ours who needed a couple more ball players to be able to play.
All right.
And so for us, as I had mentioned, it wasn't yet about the cause.
Yeah. There's got to be something in both of you where you said after that first year, we got to come back and do this again.
Yeah. And we reached out to a bunch of our friends. Marc was playing men's league. I was playing women's league. And so we pulled some girls and guys from both leagues to come up and hang out in the snow. And actually, one of the girls, the first year that we played, it was like, I think we played at like 7 a.m. and it was like negative 10 degrees. And I didn't know if they were coming back for the game too. It was just, it's crazy.
And those same girls who we didn't know if they were coming back, the next year, I think it was almost similar to our experience, where the first year they came to play ball, and then the second year they got it, right? They were hooked. So it's cool to see others being inspired by the cause as well.
And I'm not sure how many, by the way, the link is up to register your team. That is officially up if you get on Freezing Fun for Families Facebook page. Everything is right there. And the website, .org, freezingfunforfamilies.org. You can register your team, but you can also make a donation. No matter where you live, no matter whether you maybe live right here in Barrie, but playing softball in the snow is not your thing, but you want to get involved and help out, you can. All the links are right up there to do everything. Do you know if I haven't had a chance to ask Corey or Wendell this, if more volunteers are needed, if there's extra services that we're hoping. I know there's warming tents, there's incredible food, there's swag that you can buy. Do we need anything else? Do we know?
Wendell has done a great job with making sure that we have the necessary supplies and equipment to be able to run the tournament this year. So Wendell's been involved in the snow softball tournament for many years, so he's well versed on, what is needed, and has been very organized about getting that in order this year.
Yeah.
We're always looking for more folks who may be interested in volunteering.
Okay.
So if folks are interested in volunteering, Wendell would be a great person to be able to connect with.
Sure.
And that's Wendell Morse.
Yep. I'll post up his email here, but there's a committee that you guys are part of, that you have joined, but there's so much work that needs to be done before the tournament and after the tournament too. So get in touch with Wendell, and we'll post up his email. Maybe Chris Cataret, who's watching and listening right now, can drop that for me. But and there's another guy who's, what an animal right there.
Yeah, we love Chris. Yep. Chris has done an enormous amount for the cause over the years. Done a lot of great work, been a great spokesman for the cause. So appreciate you, Chris. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And thanks to Chris for supporting some of our football squares as part of our fundraisers as well.
Talk about other parts of this. It's turned into, you talk about sustainability. This is something that is so massive now that we've got a golf tournament that takes place during other parts of the year when it's not so cold. And Marc and Ruben, what a great team there. Ruben Bennett, what a great guy.
Yeah, we've had a chance to meet Marc and Ruben a little bit through the through the board of directors.
Yeah.
And committee. So me and Angie.
Yeah.
Not golfers, and that's one of the great things.
Sure.
Though. It's some people, playing snow softball is completely crazy to them. We're not golfers, so it's great that there's different opportunities for folks to be able to get involved and participate. And like you said, JD, very easy to be able to donate to Freezing Fund for Families. So either through freezingfundforfamilies.org, or you can link directly from their Facebook page as well.
Yeah. So the goal this year is what now for money? $275?
That would be a great goal to be able to achieve and get towards that sustainability.
It's amazing. Talk about some of these teams. There's some great other teams that you guys share some fantastic camaraderie between you all.
Yeah, there's a number of teams who have been coming for longer than we have. Some players and teams that I think have been coming, right from the start.
Catamount Solar, 603, Spank Puppy, We Freeze Ours, which they've been doing it for a long time. Jersey Swaps, and the list goes on.
Yeah, so so We Freeze Ours, so that was a team that Chris played with for a number of years, and now Corey's boys are helping to head up that team. So really cool seeing the next generation get inspired and get involved. So that's something I'd really like to see more of too.
Yeah.
I'm over a decade older than when I first came to the tournament, so we're still playing, but won't be able to play forever. So it's nice to see the young blood and how they've really adopted the cause. I think they had about 20 young kids on their team on the sideline, so it was really, really cool to see. And other teams, we saw our first proposal and engagement last year at Freezing Fund for Families with with two members of the Catamount Solar team. So we were hanging out a bit after the tournament and heard a bit of cheering and excitement, and
isn't this something?
To learn it was our first Freezing Fund for Families engagement, at least that I'm aware of. So
and to think that this has made the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest winter softball tournament on the planet. Who the hell else is doing that other than all of these crazies up here in the North Country?
Special breed, I guess.
Yes, very much so. Have you guys ever, and by the way, this is coming up Friday, February 28th through Sunday, March 2nd, so last weekend of the month. Have you guys ever woken up on the morning of your playtime and it's a day like yesterday? Winds are whipping. The snow is coming down. It's freezing. Maybe it's raining. Where you've just been like, oh my God, I don't know if I can do it this year. Really? Do we have to do this? Have you ever felt like that? Little hesitation?
Not in past years. Yesterday, if we had to play yesterday, it would have been nasty.
Right.
We took a quick trip up to the field.
Yes.
and I was out of the car for probably 15 seconds. So if we had to have been out there for hours and hours, yesterday would have been a tough day for sure. But, you can't pick the weather. You take it as it comes. We're here to play in the snow, and we're here for the families.
And very well, both of you, that the winds get whipping up there at the Berrytown recreation fields.
Yeah.
There is no fooling around up there in the hill. So what do you wear? What's your, you must have a strategy now. How many layers are we talking 15, 20 layers? Long underwear?
I'm a hiker now and a winter hiker. So that has helped my gear and my layering experience, so that generally stay pretty warm, and there's the warming tents, and some opportunities to get out of the cold. So
the fire, hanging out by the fire, you meet so many new people like that you never would have met, but it's a great place to just come together. And
when does Concord Orthopedics take the field this year?
Not sure yet. The schedule hasn't been released yet, but either Friday night or Saturday morning.
We like Friday night better than Saturday morning.
You like a nighttime?
Yeah, it's always good.
What do you do when someone knocks a pop fly and here it comes, you miss it, and maybe you've missed it by a little bit, and it's gone. It has just fallen into 2 feet of powder.
Yeah, and the fun part about it is having everybody from your team run out to that spot and start digging. Because nobody knows where that ball is.
Meanwhile, the batter is
rounding the bases.
Rounding the bases, maybe slipping and falling on his ass. I'm sure you've seen that a few times.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes actually you get that top crust of snow with the powder underneath.
Oh.
And if you don't see where that ball goes in and be able to get it quickly, the more and more you start searching, the harder it is.
Yeah.
But then there's also times where that ball goes in the snow, and I've seen people pretend like they don't know where the ball is to try to get the runner to go and then grab it and try to get him. So there's a little bit of gameplay in there. I probably shouldn't have revealed that secret.
No, you shouldn't have. That's strategy right there. I can't remember if it was Chris or if it was Corey, but somebody was like, yeah, this year we're going to do white balls. Is it, are they colored? Are they?
They are colored, yeah. And actually they made a wise move a few years ago they used to have a regular softball painted orange, but they've gone to, there's a flexi ball.
Yeah.
Indoor ball.
That we play when we play some indoor softball. That's more friendly in the cold conditions. We had at least 1 or 2 years where it ended up getting really icy.
Yeah.
And when you're getting a frozen softball skipping on ice, it can present a dangerous situation. So.
Have you played in the mud and have you played in the rain? I'm sure that's a yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had 1 year where there was a lot of snow at the start of the tournament, and then Saturday it got so warm out that it was just like water on the field. Then we were playing in like knee-deep water at this point, and the snow banking was like keeping the water in, so it wasn't going anywhere.
Oh.
And it was just
swimming pool.
Yeah, I mean, at least it was like warm, so we weren't gonna die of hypothermia.
Yeah.
Did I say that?
Yeah, hypothermia. Yeah.
All right.
You gotta take care of yourself. You gotta make sure that you're frequenting the warming tents and caring for yourself so that you don't get hypothermia, which is very easy to get.
Yeah, always a good strategy to bring a couple pairs of boots, extra socks.
Yeah.
Boot warmers, boot dryers.
Oh, my God.
So when you become a veteran in the tournament, you start to learn some of these tricks a bit.
Tell me about the Brantley Brooks banquet.
Yeah, so that was a really cool experience and memory for me. So there were a number of years where there was a banquet the week before the tournament. And me and Ange came up to that banquet probably 4 or 5 times. And one of those times, like the other times, I was bidding on some items. And as I was going around the table, I noticed that the name Kyler Brooks was frequently appearing on the same items that I was bidding on.
Yeah.
And at the end, one of the items that I won was this cool painted Freezing Fun for Families bat. And it turns out that I had ended up outbidding Kyler for that. And we were chatting, and I knew that Brantley wanted that bat. And so I was able to give it to him and to see him swinging it around, and the smile on his face is something I'll never forget. Honestly.
Tell me about Brantley.
Yeah, so Brantley's a great little kid. He was one of the former beneficiaries. I believe it was 2014 when Brantley was the beneficiary, and it was great to see him at the banquet, and just reminds me honestly of the sad fact that many of the beneficiaries are not able to come to banquets in subsequent years and back to the tournament. So glad that he's doing okay, and it was great to meet him and his family.
Yeah.
Great people.
Bunch of years ago, there was a father and son beneficiary team, or duo, if you will, that watched you guys play. Tell us about that.
Yeah, and I think that when Angie talked about one of our teammates, Amanda and Kathleen, our second year when it was really cold, we weren't sure if they were going to come back. It was, I think, that second year when I talked about that it really seemed like they got hooked. I remember them having a conversation with the father and son just about their experience, wanting to know more, learn more about their situation, and share their support and empathy for the family.
Yeah. I
And
can't.
that's the connection. And sorry to interrupt.
No.
And that's really, when you say why you guys come from New Hampshire, what draws you? It's really, there's some, you go to a pharmacy and they ask you for $1 for a charity that you've never heard of, and you don't know what it goes to. This is not that. This is a situation where you're actually getting to meet the families who are impacted by childhood cancer, and it really hits home and means more once you have that experience.
That's got to resonate pretty deeply for both of you. I'm sure there's been many years where you've been driving home to Concord at the end of this, and your heads are and your hearts are just so full with what you've experienced, what you've seen, what you've heard.
Yeah, we've had the opportunity to meet a lot of the beneficiaries, all depending on their situation, and get pictures with them. But the one thing that stands out the most to me is last year when we played Team Marcus.
Yeah.
And, year before that,
the year before. And, last year, whose team did we play in the first game? And we used flags to beat them.
No,
and then we found, that was Team Marcus. And we found out, that they were the family of this child, this beneficiary. And we were like, we shouldn't have used our flags. We should have just let them beat us. So it's just nice to... I think it's just, that the kids, I can't put the words together for it, but these families, like, it just breaks your heart. Like, and, you know, during COVID, they couldn't come out because, you know, they couldn't get sick. They were already sick,
Sure.
you know, and,
Sure.
you know, when it's really cold, you can't come out and hang out. So when they are able to come out, you know, we just really, really like to meet them and get to know them and their families a little bit better.
What about let's throw some much due love at not only your players, but also your sponsors.
Yeah, so we have a number of teammates that have been with us for a long time. So
We actually have one teammate that's been with us, and now his 2 children are playing with us. So we've got his sons, you know, and they've always supported us, and now they're coming up here and being part of this, and it's just great to see it branching out.
yeah, so Kathleen, Amanda, India, Melissa, Jess, Josh Libby, Don Libby, Mike Pisnewski, Lauren Pisnewski, Clint Moulton, a longtime teammate, Ricky Goudreau, and his sons Colton and Callan. Am I missing anybody?
Oh, let's make sure, because we
While,
can't.
while she does that, make sure I haven't missed anybody. So we started, when we first started our own team up here, coming as Byron Septic. So they were our sponsor for I think probably the first 4 years or so. They were also one of the owners. One of the owners was our teammate and owner on the of Byron. So, and then we shifted to SKR for a year, and we were sponsored following that by one of our friends, Boomer Hazen and Hazen Electric, before moving to the sponsor that we're working with now, Concord Orthopedics, which is also where one of our teammates, Lauren, works.
And
Yeah, so we missed Rob LeBrun, so shout out to Rob, who plays this entire tournament with sneakers on.
In shorts.
In shorts,
Typically.
yep. And then a couple girls that have been with us for a long time, Jess Mason and Lex Shirley, that aren't able to come this year because of their children being on vacation.
all right.
And another important sponsor is actually my work.
Your employer.
Yeah, so I work for Sanofi, and Sanofi has a generous charitable matching donation program that I take advantage of to help support these families.
And football squares.
Football squares, yeah. So that's one of our fundraisers that we do each year. So we'll pick a handful of games and do football squares for them and to help us raise money for the cause.
And how about Meckelson's RV and Community National Bank, the tournament sponsors?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of great sponsors over the years. So Community National Bank has been a frequent sponsor of a field. And that's when you were talking about opportunities for donations and sponsorships.
Yeah.
So companies can sponsor a field. So if you're not a player, don't have a team to join, that's another opportunity for folks to be able to get involved with. And there's been a number of vendors and companies that have supported the cause over the years, from Casella,
Yeah.
right? You've got Pike for lighting.
Yeah. There's 2 companies that have been huge.
The
Right there.
National Guard brings out the warming tank.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
And then even companies who help and support by donating, 4-wheelers so that volunteers can get around to the different fields as well.
Quickly. Yeah. Wow, man. What are you going to be wearing this year?
we'll be wearing
Come
our
That's it?
We'll layer up underneath our sweatshirts depending on how the weather is, and then snow pants and our boots. And
Now, is Rob doing the sneakers and the shorts thing weather depending?
no.
Rob's hardcore. That's the way he,
Yes.
that's the way he rolls. Yeah, I know. It's just hard
It's
to believe.
That's not right.
Yeah, it's Robbie.
It's our guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to take an ice bath every now and then.
Right.
But playing winter softball with shorts and sneakers.
It's not for me. We talked about players who have been coming for a long time. Rob has been, I don't know exactly how many years, but I know Rob's
Longer than us, yeah.
15 plus years easy. So Rob's
Serious diehard.
legend. Yeah, tournament legend.
My God. Is there anyone else that does anything like that you know of?
There's a few here and there, not on our team, but
Right.
you see it.
Wow. Marc and Angie, anything else that you can think of before we close out this morning? You guys are just, I mean, how many thousands? $43,000 in 4 years? Just your team alone?
Yeah, we're hoping to add some more to that this year.
My goodness. And we should also mention here that we talked about Levi and his family, but there's also Alistair, Carla, Eleanor, Elijah, and Nico this year.
Yes.
Children who are beneficiaries.
Yeah, so two very young kids, 2 years old. Two others who were 7 and ranging up to the oldest at Nico.
So 6 kids.
So 6 kids this year. I think it was 5 last year. So these past 2 or 3 years, we've been fortunate enough, as I alluded to, that we haven't had to say no to any of the nominated families. So, so another great step for Freezing Fun for Families.
Some of these families are using the money toward medical expenses. Some of them are using it for other things, logistically, like you said, Marc, reliable transportation to get to and from medical appointments, which aren't always right here in the Green Mountain State. And some families using their money to just go and enjoy life with whatever that might look like.
Yeah, I mean, cancer is incredibly expensive, and so it's great that it's a no strings attached award.
Sure.
That the families get. Can go for anything to groceries, to rent, to a vehicle, to something more fun, enjoyable like a vacation.
Yeah. Anything else that we can think of before we skip out?
No, I went through. I think we're. Oh, we didn't talk about the jersey swaps.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that was one cool thing that actually Corey had kind of engineered 2 years ago that we continued last year, and we're hoping that it kind of becomes a tradition. So he came over to me and was like, "Hey, you should swap jerseys with my son. Let's do a jersey swap." And so, actually, no. It was last year that we did the jersey swap with the son. He was even more special and moving. 2 years ago, I did a jersey swap with Marcus's mother from Team Marcus. So to have that experience and have a chance to chat with them, just phenomenal people who were so appreciative of the cause, so much so that they, put in a team to support the cause as well.
Wow. It's almost like you have to ask yourself, like, what's next for Freezing Fun for Families, other than embarking on a $1 million amount of money that's been raised over 25 years that we're approaching. But it's like, what's next, man? It's like we've got the golf tournament. We've got so many incredible businesses and sponsors and volunteers that are involved here.
Yeah, I mean, the organization, I think, is looking to continue to do more and help families in more and different ways. So I know that there's ideas and talk once we're able to reach that sustainability point of introducing new programs, things potentially like, meal vouchers or hotel vouchers while families are going through treatments. So just those little things that can help.
I can't help but sit here and look at you guys as just two of so many people that make this event not only successful every year, but something that has created its own momentum and has grown in 25 years to something, I referred to it at the beginning of today's episode as a monster. I mean, this thing is just huge. We've got the attention of not only the Guinness Book of World Records globally, but also nationally. Other states are watching what we're doing here in Vermont. And I would love to see some more national press on this event. But other states you guys, this has garnered the attention of a lot of people beyond our borders. It's really remarkable.
It is. It's impressive to see the reach and how many people know about what's going on.
Sure. Yeah.
We try to do our small part by wearing our Freezing Fun for Families gear.
Everywhere we go.
Everywhere you go.
We've bought shirts for every season. So.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Freezing Fun for Families wardrobe.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do. Guys, thank you for all you do, obviously, but also for taking time out of your very busy lives, your work schedules, and thanks to your employers for supporting you both and your willingness to travel all the way here from Concord, New Hampshire, to stay overnight last night in some horrific weather, and to be willing to share your story and promote this event on the microphones this morning.
It snows every time we come up here.
I'm sure.
And we wanted to thank you, JD, and for the Aired Out podcast, highlighting Freezing Fun for Families and the cause. Just to keep pushing it bigger and further.
Yeah, wouldn't have it any other way. Congratulations to you both. $43,000 just from your team alone over the last 4 years, and you've been participating in this since 2013. I can only imagine how much money you guys have raised. I can only imagine.
Yeah, a lot of great memories. There's a lot of teams who are participating and raising a lot of money on their own too. So it's not just our team. We freeze ours, Catamount Solar. Some teams changed sponsors over the years, but Young Guns, they play as the Red Flags now. They were the top fundraising team 4 years ago, and they won the tournament 2 years ago. And you talk about the camaraderie. They actually gave the trophy to us, not because we won the tournament, because we were the top fundraising team for that year. So that's the type of camaraderie and respect that we have between the teams.
And I don't think you guys have the goal necessarily of, we got to be the top fundraising team. You're just doing what you do. You're just doing what you're passionate about, and you're doing it from a place of love.
Yeah, it's definitely from a place of love, for sure.
Yeah. I have heard and I know you both have too, that cancer is so evil, especially pediatric cancer. And there's, we've all heard there's nothing good that can result from cancer. But if cancer was a person that was looking at this event, I would imagine cancer just shaking its head and saying, damn it, here comes that winter co-ed softball tournament, freezing fun for families again this year. You guys are really battling something that is, you're really taking down cancer head first. And that's impressive as hell. All of you, not just the two of you, just this whole event.
A lot of people over the years that have really made this all happen for, over 50 families at this point. So
wow. Thank you so much for coming in here.
Thanks for having us.
Drive carefully. Hope to see you in another 2 weeks?
10 days.
10 days? Something like that?
Yep.
Marc and Angie, appreciate you both so much from Team Concord Orthopedics, the Freezing Fun for Families winter co-ed softball tournament. Thank you so much for coming in here. And don't forget, Sunday, it's going to be big. Our speaker series, we have Karina Thurston, who's going to be in here Sunday night at 6 o'clock, a professional artist, author, TEDx speaker, content creator, and mom who has one hell of a story. Sunday night, 6 o'clock, our speaker series with Imagine Moving On and Fly on the Wall Productions. That's all on the Aired Out page right now. The press release is right there if you want to check it out and read about it and be part of that experience Sunday night. We'll catch you then. Thanks to all of our presenting and supporting sponsors here at Fly on the Wall Productions. We appreciate your eyes and your ears, and thanks to Marc and Angie for coming in this morning. Over and out. Drive carefully, be good, and stay warm.